So, why is drinking water important for humans? Well, the human body is made up of about 80% water, which is present in our blood and other cells. Since we lose a lot of fluid through sweat, urine, and even just by breathing, we actually need to replenish it constantly. Drinking less water can, cause immediate problems. The body cells become dry and the skin wrinkles. Also, the blood becomes thicker, and the heart has to make more effort to pump it through the body. Since the blood is responsible for transporting oxygen around the body, oxygen is not supplied adequately to the organs if we're dehydrated. The heart and the brain react immediately to a lack of oxygen. They get damaged in just a few minutes. Arteries take blood rich in oxygen from the lungs to the body, and veins bring it back. Alright, let's talk about some of the major blood vessels and organs in our body. There's the right carotid artery and the right jugular vein, which are super important for carrying blood to and from the head. Then we've got the superior vena cava, the left lung, and of course, the heart right at the center of everything. The spleen, liver, and kidney also play key roles in filtering blood and keeping us healthy. Don't forget about the inferior vena cava and the aorta, which are like the main highways for blood flow. And finally, there are the right leg artery and right leg vein, plus, all the other arteries and veins spread throughout the body. So why do we actually need blood? Well, our body is made up of millions of cells, and these cells must be supplied with water properly, This job is handled by the blood. The red blood cells are especially important because they transport vital oxygen, or O2, all around the body. But that's not all. The blood also absorbs nutrients from the digestive tract and distributes them to the organs. In return, it takes away the waste products from those organs. Blood contains platelets that help seal wounds, and white blood cells that help us fight disease-causing germs. So yeah, blood has a lot of different jobs to keep us healthy. So how does the heart work? Well, the heart, which is a hollow organ with 4 chambers, can actually be imagined as an unbelievably strong pump. It's about the same size as a fist, Electrical signals coming from the brain cause the heart muscle to contract around 70 times in a minute in an adult. These contractions are actually more frequent in children and, also when we are playing sports. The contractions pump blood through the whole body using the circulatory system. This system is made up of 2 types of vessels: arteries, which carry blood rich in oxygen, and veins, which carry blood that's poor in oxygen. While the arterial blood supplies oxygen to every cell in the body, the venous blood is sent to the lungs, where it gets purified by removing the waste product, carbon dioxide, and absorbing fresh oxygen. Did you know that an adult has about 5 to 6 liters of blood in their body? And, the heart of an adult actually pumps around 7,000 liters of blood through the body every single day. This could, fill about 35 bathtubs. Did you know that crabs have blue-colored blood? Their blood pigment contains copper and not iron, which is what gives our blood its red color. So, where does the oxygen in the blood come from? Well, when we breathe, the oxygen actually reaches our lungs through the mouth, nose, and trachea. The lungs have a number of, very tiny cavities known as air sacs, which are covered by a network of very fine blood vessels. An exchange of gases takes place here. Impure blood reaches these capillaries and releases the waste gas carbon dioxide into the air sacs. This is exhaled out of the body, and freshly inhaled oxygen is absorbed into the air sacs. This oxygen is then released into the blood via the capillaries. So what are cells made of? The different cells in our body have very different tasks, but they're all pretty similar in their structure. They have a cell wall or a cell membrane, which protects the inner matter of the cell and controls what goes into the cell and what comes out of it. The nucleus inside the cell actually controls all the processes happening in the cell. And the energy for these processes comes from the mitochondria, which is often called the powerhouse of the cell. They're, responsible for cell respiration. The endoplasmic reticulum, it takes care of the conversion of substances and also helps detoxify the cells. All of these organelles are embedded in the liquid cytoplasm inside the cell. And, if we drink less fluids, the cytoplasm can dry out and the cell may, actually die. Inside a typical cell, you'll find the cell nucleus, the nuclear membrane, the Golgi apparatus, the cell membrane, the cytoplasm, the mitochondrion, and the endoplasmic reticulum. So, the cytoplasm of a cell actually contains the nucleus, the mitochondria, the endoplasmic reticulum, and the Golgi apparatus, which is, responsible for sorting and storing substances. What are organs? Organs are, basically, parts of the body having specific tasks. An example is the intestine, in which food is broken down and the nutrients are absorbed in the blood. Another important organ is the liver, which utilizes the components of food. Other organs are the kidneys, the spleen, the heart, and our biggest organ, the skin. They are all made up of different kinds of tissues, such as muscular tissue, fatty or supportive tissue, and blood vessels. The tissue in each organ is specifically designed to perform the tasks assigned to that organ. Thus, the muscular tissue of the heart is different and performs different functions as compared to that in the upper thigh. Each organ interacts with other organs to keep the body healthy.